Hey everyone, welcome back to another bonus episode of the Racing with Ryan podcast. This is another American Auto Race Rewind and brought to you by Speedway Video. And big thank you to Speedway Video for providing uninterrupted video of the action that went down March 4th, 2023 at the Auburndale Speedway. So this race is not that old. We're not digging too far back into the archives for this one, but after this one went down, this was an instant classic. I knew I had to do a race rewind on this. Definitely a very wild race, some craziness after the fact, and a winner who, starting to make a name for himself. So let's go ahead and get into it. And again, this is Twin 50 number 2. Race number 1, Pretty Calm, was won by John Guy. So he is going to try to sweep the night, but he's got some heavy hitters. We have the likes of Daniel Webster, Jeff Schofield, TJ DeCaire, Tim Sozio, Ross Francisco, Chase Lovelady, just to name a few of the drivers that were in this field. So let's go ahead and see how it all plays out. 50 laps, Twin 50, number 2, from March 4th, 2023 at the Auburndale Speedway. So the invert from race number 1 was a 3. That puts Daniel Webster on the pole with the 07 Jeff Schofield second, 42 John Guy in third. Those were your top 3 finishers in inverse order from race 1. Green is out. Webster getting a little sideways, and that gives the jump to Jeff Schofield on the outside. So Schofield really gets the jump here on the drop of the green flag. The rest of the field is pretty much bumper to bumper, as you would expect at the Auburndale Speedway. Schofield going to lead lap number 1, then the rest of the field side by side. Webster breaks into second. TJ DeCaire now beginning to work the high side of Jonathan Guy as they go down the back straightaway into turn number 3. John Guy and TJ DeCaire, 42 and 88, are side by side for third as Schofield scoots away. John Guy, again, winner of race number 1, kind of getting choked down on that inside and slipping backwards. Outside groove is rolling forwards. Here comes the Cody Crucker car on the outside of John Guy, who has gone backwards since the drop of the green flag. Started third, back to about 5th or 6th. He's got Cody Crucker making contact with him as they go into turn number 3. Chase Lovelady now going to fill the hole down on the inside of Cody Crucker. Top 4 now gets single file as John Guy will hold off the advances of Cody Crucker for now. Now the field is strung out single file, so some anxious moments on the initial green flag, but now the, I believe, 14 or 15 car field all single file as they run off some laps. 3 laps in the books so far. Bray Holmes working the back part of the field. Bray trying to work to the inside of the 22, the Kingmobile. Bray Holmes moves up a spot in his red, white, and blue Super Late. And now we go back up front where Jeff Schofield now has company from Daniel Webster and TJ DeCaire. So big jump early for the 07 of Jeff Schofield. And Webster with a slip, and here comes TJ DeCaire. DeCaire from 5th or 6th on the grid, working his way to the back bumper of the 33 of Daniel Webster. Webster trying to hold off the youngster TJ DeCaire, up from Legends cars, up from Pro Trucks, now behind the wheel of late models. We've seen him win here at Auburn, or at Citrus County Speedway, and we've seen him win here at Auburndale in Trucks and Legends cars, and make the trip over to the high banks of the New Smyrna Speedway as well, where he's still looking to find a little bit of luck. Schofield still the leader in the 07. Daniel Webster in the sharp number 33, that blue and yellow machine, hanging on to second. Pretty calm right now. About 7 or 8 laps into this contest, it's been all Jeff Schofield up at the front. 3-car breakaway back to John Guy, who was the winner of race number 1, as TJ DeCaire looking to the outside, trying to get a run, trying to diamond the corner, get a run on the 33 of Daniel Webster. Webster hanging on to second. And he's got a mirror full of TJ DeCaire. DeCaire laying the bumper to him just a little bit as they go through the corners. Here at Auburndale, a lot of times you got to use the bumpers to get by. Good racing for the second spot. Schofield leads. Webster is second. DeCaire is third. John Guy, Cody Crucker still the top 5. Chase Lovelady is 6th. Tim Sozio recovering from a spin in race number 1 up to 7th as they run right now. Dylan Bigley 8th. Patrick Staropoli 9th. And Jesse Dutilli. Didn't mention him at the top of the program, but he's in the field as well. He did not run too well in race number 1. He's 10th right now with some work to do. Jeff Schofield still showing the way, clean and green. Everybody's still running. I believe 15 cars did take the green here in race number 2, and they all continue on. Jeff Schofield, your leader. Daniel Webster trying to hold off a scrappy TJ DeCaire. DeCaire, the young up-and-coming superstar, looking to the inside now of Daniel Webster, the KG veteran, who has found a bit of a resurgence himself. Side by side for second, little contact. Schofield likes to see this battle now. If you're watching on the video, you'll see a donut on the side of the number 33 where TJ got to the side of him. Good, hard side-by-side racing, not over-aggressive. It's just short track racing at its best right now as TJ DeCaire makes the pass on Webster. Webster going to try to fight back, but not able to get there. It is now Schofield, TJ DeCaire, Daniel Webster, your top 3. Some battles further back. Jesse Utilli working the outside of Patrick Staropoli for 9th. Jesse Utilli, who took a little bit of time off of racing, pulled the old number 30 machine out of the garage to go racing tonight on what was a big, big night of racing at the Auburndale Speedway back on March the 4th. Ray Holmes making a move around Richard Elkins, a little bit further back in the pack. Ray Holmes trying to make things exciting out back. Sometimes you got to watch the back of the field. You know, there's some good battles back there as well. Looking back up towards the front, though, Schofield now with a mirror full of TJ DeCaire. DeCaire has made his way past Daniel Webster, now sets his sights on, you want to talk about KG veteran, how about Wiley veteran Jeff Schofield in the 07, and there's a little contact. DeCaire off of 4, gets into him. Schofield cuts him off going into 1. DeCaire into the back bumper, into the side of him. They are side by side, trading paint on the back straightaway. Schofield hangs on the lead for now. DeCaire jacks him up in 3. Up the track goes Schofield. Away to the lead goes TJ DeCaire. Schofield going to go back at him in turn number 1. He gets into the back of DeCaire. Oh, man. He has stirred the pot now as TJ DeCaire. Schofield hard on the brakes, those rotors glowing as he sends it into turn number 3. Now hand out the window for Jeff Schofield, saying, hey, did you see that? Did you see how he roughed me up? That is the way that a lot of people race at the Auburndale Speedway. DeCaire really messing with Jeff Schofield there. Got in the back of him a couple of times. Traded paint as they were side by side. Schofield tried to get him back now, having to fend off the 33 of Daniel Webster. That went from 0 to 60 in no time. Well, we were watching some of the battles a little bit further back in the pack. TJ DeCaire had closed in on the 07 of Jeff Schofield. And when he got there, he used the chrome horn, if you will, and he was able to get by. So now, TJ DeCaire, he has shaken his stick at the Hornet's Nest, and we'll see if they swarm here. As the battles continue on, TJ DeCaire is starting to leg it out. He's got a 5, 6, 7 car length lead over the 07 of Schofield, who's trying to deal with Webster. John Guy still sitting back and forth. Cody Crucker 5th. So no real changes in the top 5. Black flag is out for somebody. Trying to figure out who the black flag is for, but laps winding down in this one as the lap time's pretty quick around the little quarter-mile bull ring at the Auburndale Speedway, especially for the super late models. Cody Crucker with a mirror full of Chase Lovelady's number 8 car. John Guy trying to hold off Crucker, but Crucker's under attack, and Jesse Utilli making some moves. He looks to the inside and will get by Tim Sozio in turn number 3. So Jesse Utilli's number 30 starting to come to life. 31 laps complete now with TJ DeCaire the leader. So 19 laps to go here in Twin 50 number 2. Hunter Lovelady gets sideways. Big smoke out of Cody Crucker's 27 car. Looks like he might have just gotten the brakes a little bit too hard. A little bit of haze coming out the rear end, but we stay green for now. And one car pulling down to the infield just ahead of the leader. I believe that may have been the Richard Elkins number 55. I think that's the car that was getting the black flag. We'll see here when we pan across the infield. Hard to tell from that vantage point, but I think it was... No, Richard Elkins still on track. My apologies. Somebody did show some smoke and pull the infield. That might have been... Well, I'm not sure. Staropoli, perhaps? So the race continues on with TJ DeCaire, the race leader. Schofield still second. Webster third. Not too many changes, but We got one car up out of the groove. It's the Dylan Bigley machine. Bigley pulls high in turn 4, and that will draw the yellow flag. So this is the moment, and I'll let you behind the scenes a little bit here. This is the moment that I pulled Tom over from Speedway Video, and I said, Tom, TJ DeCaire poked the bull on that one, and now the bull's going to give him the horns on this restart. So I told Tom, I'm like, hey, buddy, you've got to watch these guys. And just to confirm, it was Patrick Staropoli, who we did see pull into the infield. So the King, number 22, and the Staropoli, 97, will retire from the race at this point, leaving us about 13 cars on track. TJ DeCaire, the leader, will now have to fend off Jeff Schofield, who is none too happy. So this was a restart where everybody in attendance, and now they pull the Cody Crucker 27 car over. It showed some smoke under that last green flag run. So the officials going to check into the back of the 27, but as I was saying, this was a restart that had the entire racetrack on its feet and led to some very intense racing. So that is what we call a tease. You want to keep listening to see how it plays out. If you have not seen this video, if you were not at the Auburndale Speedway, things got crazy. Richard Elkins now having some issues with the 55. That car started, under this yellow, it started popping, and I'm glad he pulled it in because I had a sleeping baby at this point. So getting ready for a restart. TJ DeCaire, the leader, he's chosen the inside groove. Schofield now a row back, so it's almost a Delaware-file restart. Schofield trying to get a run, playing a little bit of jackrabbit restart games. Green flag comes out, but they will not keep that start. Schofield lagged back, tried to get a run on DeCaire. DeCaire was having none of it, but that was an ugly restart, so they call it back. So we'll re-rack them and try it again. Listening to the commentary from Steve Darling over at the Auburndale Speedway. The officials not liking that restart, throwing the lazy green there to signify, hey, we're gonna try this one again. So now you got the 88 and 07 side by side, and Schofield leaving no room between the two of them as they try it again. And they don't go this time. DeCaire with his hand out the window, Schofield with his hand out the window, sizing each other up. You've got future star versus wily veteran at the front of this thing inside of 20 laps to go. In Schofield, he is a guy that you do not want to mess with. He bites back. So let's try this again. Coming down to the restart. Pretty even, about as even as you could get. Schofield with a bumper out in front. Contact is made off turn number 2. They are still side by side going into turn number 3. Schofield runs DeCaire down the track. DeCaire pushing up the track, trading paint. And Schofield tries to right rear the 88 of DeCaire. DeCaire hangs onto it. Man, oh man, that could have been a huge moment for TJ DeCaire. That was a moment that, when I was watching this live, had me up and pointing because that looked like it was going to be a bad situation. They were making contact that entire lap, and Schofield got into the right rear. DeCaire able to keep it pointed, and he is driving away. So there, Schofield, as you can see, tried at the retaliation, was not happy with how he felt like he was raced by TJ DeCaire, or the way that TJ DeCaire took the lead. And through the restart, how about Jesse Dutilli up into the 4th position? John Guy has slipped back here several positions. He was 4th, and now he's back to about the 7th position, a virtual non-factor here in race number 2. So now we wait, and we will see if TJ DeCaire can hang on and pick up the big victory here tonight. It is TJ DeCaire, Jeff Schofield, Daniel Webster, and now they have company from Jesse Dutilli. Dutilli out from the back of the field, right to the back bumper of Webster. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, nose to tail, and here comes Lovelady. 4 cars battling for the 2nd spot as DeCaire has about a 4-car length lead. Scoreboard, I believe, saying 40 laps complete as they went by that time, so about 10 laps to go, give or take. Battle is on for the final spot on the podium. Daniel Webster in the double 3, trying to hold off the 3-0 of Jesse Dutilli. Chase Lovelady in that 8 car. He's right there waiting to pounce if things get interesting in front of him. Webster hangs on to 3rd. Jeff Schofield trying to mount one final charge. The back bumper of that 88, you know, if he gets there, he will use the bumper. So saying it is now 5 laps to go. Just 5 laps to go for TJ DeCaire. So the scoreboard is not correct. Looks like it'll be 4 laps to go. The battle is on for 3rd. Jesse Dutilli working the back bumper of the 33 of Daniel Webster. Daniel Webster in car number 33 trying to hang on to that final podium spot. Jeff Schofield trying to find something to chase down this 88. Dutilli runs to the outside. Can't get it done. Here comes Lovelady. I remember right there, I thought that move was going to end Jesse Dutilli's night. But Dutilli keeps his foot in it, rolls to the outside. I wonder why more people don't try this move. You try to roll the outside and get that position and choke that car down on the inside, not let it roll to the wall, not let it build all its momentum. Jesse Dutilli is making the outside work at the Auburndale Speedway. Laps winding down. Dutilli and Webster side by side for third. Dutilli on the outside, Webster on the inside. Webster gets loose and Dutilli powers up. Dutilli not able to clear. Coming to the checkers, it is TJ DeCaire with the win. Jeff Schofield second in a great battle for third. Dutilli takes third and Schofield comes up to the 88 to show his displeasure. No contact is made, but Jeff Schofield not too happy. Cuts off TJ DeCaire as they roll to victory lane. Schofield kind of blocking TJ DeCaire from the painted victory lane on the racetrack. Steve is already down there, ready to go on the racetrack to hear from our winners. And on this night, I was kind of helping Steve direct traffic a little bit, trying to bring the racers to him to where his microphone was working best. So I actually, if you watch the video, you'll see me and Peyton, who was asleep on my shoulder. No, she's awake, actually. We're walking down the stairs now. Schofield gets out of the car. And then some fans start jawing at him. So TJ DeCaire gets out of the car. Jeff Schofield's out of his car. Now Jeff comes over and very sternly points over towards turn number 4. Says, hey, I don't appreciate what you did to me over there. And they're talking. They're talking. The view a little bit obstructed by the flags here, but they're just talking. And then the fans start jeering at Jeff Schofield, who starts laughing and then heads towards the fence. Schofield yelling at the fans, saying, what, you're going to say I got beat because he pushed me up into the 4th groove in turn 4? A lot of language being exchanged down here, and I was down there with the baby eel. As Steve goes to talk to TJ DeCaire, I remember things get a little heated down there, so I went ahead and left the scene. And Jeff Schofield not happy about the way he was raced. Steve trying to get the microphone to work. But very chaotic scene down here in Victory Lane. I'll try to paraphrase. TJ DeCaire saying there was some clutch issues, didn't get much practice. Thanking all the sponsors and all the people that help work on the race car. Fans are cheering for TJ and jeering at Jeff Schofield. So you can see who the fans like at Auburndale. And then Jesse Dutilli held on for third. And I'll paraphrase what he has to say here. As basically to sum it up, he basically said, well, we sucked in race 1. We changed everything and came through the field and I think passed the most cars at Auburndale all weekend. So what a race. What a wild, wild race this was. I mean, that was classic Auburndale late model racing. A lot of contact, some aggressive driving, unhappy drivers at the end of the night. You're not going to get through twin features of any division at Auburndale without somebody being upset. And this time, the young kid, TJ DeCaire, gets the best of the veteran Jeff Schofield, and Schofield is not happy about it. My take on this is I've seen Schofield do exactly what TJ DeCaire did to many people throughout his career, and I know I haven't seen Jeff Schofield race forever. I know he was racing long before my time here, but I've seen Schofield use the bumper. I've seen him rub people up. He's not used to the one being used up, so I understand why he was frustrated, but a wild, wild race. Schofield not too happy. Not happy at all with the way that TJ DeCaire raced him. But hey, the winner's going to be happy. The runner-up's not, especially when there's contact. And of course there was contact. I'm not saying that TJ DeCaire just blew by Jeff Schofield. TJ DeCaire got into him, used him up, pushed him up, but then Schofield retaliated. He tried to race the exact same way, couldn't get him back, tried to right rear him on the straightaway, which I'm not a big fan of. You can actually see the right rear quarter panel separated from the bumper on the 88 as it sits in victory lane. But wow, what a race. What a finish. I'm glad there was no fisticuffs, man. I didn't expect Schofield to come over and lay into TJ. I appreciate the fact that Jeff came over to talk to TJ. And then a lot of the escalation was, from the fans, which is just... if I was Schofield, I wouldn't engage with the fans. That's not a good look. But then Schofield is now down here jawing with members of the TJ DeCaire crew, officials, and just not happy about it. So TJ DeCaire gets the win. Jeff Schofield is not happy about it, basically telling the fans that are still jeering him, hey, you know where we're parked, and come see us afterwards. Yep, Schofield just said, hey, you know where we're parked at. He smiles, gets back in the car, and heads off. So Schofield, not happy. TJ DeCaire triumphant in victory lane. Jesse Dutilli comes from the back of the field, and a late race charge for him puts him up in the third spot. Make sure you go to patreon.com/Speedway Video and support our good friend, Mr. Tom Stout from Speedway Video. But what a wild race from the Auburndale Speedway. What a great night of racing it was. Of course, you can go back to the podcast. I believe it was number 87, entitled He Gave the Bull the Horns, and you can listen to the full recap there. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened. TJ DeCaire roughed him up. Jeff Schofield, he's been the bull for a long time, folks. And this time it was TJ DeCaire who had the horns. Schofield tried to put his horns back on, try to get to him, couldn't get to him. But man, very exciting to watch back on Speedway Video and to give my thoughts and my commentary on it. But I'm telling you, nothing was better than being at that race live. That was some phenomenal stuff. Definitely made the entire night worth the price of admission. Auburndale's really delivered this year, and I'm glad that Speedway Video was able to be there to capture that one. Really, if you think about it a little bit, it's kind of a passing of the torch race. Schofield's been the king of late model racing for a long, long time. Getting older, still has it. I mean, just won at Showtime this weekend, but TJ DeCaire, an up-and-coming star in the making, and maybe a passing of the torch race, even though I know Schofield's like, I didn't give him no torch. He took it from me. I did not give him the torch. So maybe a taking of the torch race, if you will. But TJ DeCaire, he's going to be around a long time. I hope we see him back on the high banks of New Smyrna. I'm sure he's going to get some good runs there if he keeps at it. But big win for TJ DeCaire, and good run for the old Jeff Schofield. 2 second-place finishes that night, by the way. And then he went over the next week to win at Showtime. And good to see Jesse Dutilli back behind the wheel of a car. Just a lot of fun. So I figured I'd hop on in here and do a race rewind. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Big thank you again to American Auto for sponsoring these race rewinds. I know they're sporadic, but I do like doing them. And thank you to Speedway Video for taking the audio and syncing it up to the video so that you guys can actually go back and watch this with me and see what I'm seeing out there on the racetrack. So again, that is Twin 50 number 2 from March 4th at the Auburndale Speedway. The big win to TJ DeCaire, Jeff Schofield second, Jesse Dutilli third. The rest of the top 10 was Daniel Webster, Chase Lovelady, Cody Crucker, Jonathan Guy, AJ Waller, Tim Sozio, and Bray Holmes. That was your top 10 finishers, capping off a wild night at the Auburndale Speedway. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this race rewind. And if you guys have any suggestions on the next race that we should rewind, please let me know, and we'll see you next week with another edition of the Racing with Ryan podcast.